Hello everybody and thank you for joining me. This is Ciara from Ciara Designs and today I have this really fun birthday card set to share with you. So let's jump right in. So I'm going to start by cutting down my cardstock. That is what I like to do first just because I like to see what I'm working with. So I am going to give them a black mat which I cut down to be about 1/8 of an inch smaller than my A2 base, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 when scored. And then for my white panel that I'll be doing the ink blending on, I like to cut that down to be about 1/4 of an inch smaller than my A2 base, giving me a nice thin border all the way around. You don't need to do this. You could leave off the black mat if that's not a look you enjoy, but I like how it frames the project and I think that it just adds a little bit of something extra, so I do tend this direction. And then it also kind of helps the black sentiment stand out as well because you just get that little bit of a black frame around the whole project. But as I said, this is always just an idea. If you don't like any one of the steps that I've done in here, by all means change it to be something you would like a little better. Like maybe you could do your mat to be a glitter cardstock, or you could do gold. Gold would be really pretty with this. Or alternatively, just leave off the mat and just have a white border all the way around. It would be a little more subtle, but still be quite pretty. So definitely an option for you, sure. And if you don't like the colors I've chosen, by all means, switch them up. This is an idea of something you could create if you wanted to recreate these. But if you wanted to, you could absolutely do, monochromatic colors instead. Pick all blues or all pinks and blend those. Or you could do a more moody color palette. I kind of was leaning towards a spring feeling color palette just because it's very cold where I am. This week, I think we were down to minus 26 Celsius. So I just really wanted a bit of a spring feel. So that is why I chose the colors that I chose. But by all means, switch them up to whatever works better for your project. And then here I'm going to show you what it looks with those layers just because I love that look. And you can see that you just get a thin border all the way around. Now I'm going to show you quickly my cool distress blending foam holder. I made that a long time ago on, I think it was my first live stream. So you can always go and check that out if you want to. I have the free download. You can just download and make your own if you're struggling to find a way to store your domed foams because they can't easily be attached to the bottom of the panel, or of the ink pad, I mean. So for my colors, I'm going to go in with dried Marigold, then Kitsch Flamingo, and then Salvaged Patina. Again, I picked a more spring feeling color palette, and this is quite sped up. As you can tell, I obviously do not blend this quickly, but I wanted you to get the idea of kind of what I'm going for without having to watch me do it several times. So I'm going to show you twice the process, but I am making 5 cards just because I think 5 cards is a beautiful amount for a set. I think that this would be a really fun set of cards to, wrap a bow around, add some envelopes, and give as a gift to someone who loves to give cards but doesn't make their own. I just think that this is a really fun and beautiful set of cards. And again, there's so many ways you could change this up. If you don't own any of the products that I've used, no problem. I mean, I'm assuming you may have a single flower die somewhere in your stash. Bring it out. Use that. You could use a large butterfly. You could, there's so many things you could do. You could use just a really pretty sprig of leaves if you don't have a flower. There's so many ways you could change this up and make it your own if you don't have the products that I have. I am a large believer in using what you have on hand. So by all means, go through your stash, find something that will work for this project and use that instead. And I did splash on just a touch of Perfect Pearls just to add a little bit of extra shimmer and shine in the little circle. And I did it while I still had the stencil on so that it would stay within the ink blended circle. Now I'm using a stencil here. This is a Waffle Flower stencil. It's the Spotlight Circle. I don't know if it's still available. I've had it in my stash for a really long time. So I'll link it if it's available. If not, you can easily create your own stencil with a nested circle die and a piece of Yupo, or any, plastic cardstock would work. So if you don't have a stencil, by all means, you can easily make your own. I've done that in the past. And then I had some of my ink just seep out a little bit behind the stencil, so I brought in a white gel pen, and I used that just to clean up the edges so that it would look very confined into that circle. Because it's such a simple card design, I really didn't want it to kind of go outside of the circle. And then here Aqua is going to check out what I'm working on. She is my ragdoll kitten. I have her and her brother, and she's going to kind of supervise this part of the video. So I left this in so you guys could see it. At this point, I'm worried that the splatter is still a little bit wet, so I did discourage her from sitting on top of my panels. But she's going to wander through the frame here multiple times, and she's just flipping adorable. So I left this footage in for you guys so you could check it out, as I know a lot of you really enjoy the cats showing up in the videos. So I did take one of the flowers from the Tim Holtz Vault Wildflowers dies, and I cut that out of a white glitter cardstock. I'm kind of trying for, this is my version of a clean and simple card. I know for some people this wouldn't necessarily rate as clean and simple, but if you've seen some of my previous cards, this for me is quite clean and simple. So I'm really excited with how this turned out. I am going to cut out 5 of these flowers, though I'm only going to show you cutting out 2. Again, like I said, I am repeating the steps multiple times. I'm just not going to show them so you don't have to watch it several times. And then I do have to kind of pop them out. I do find that glitter cardstock can be a bit interesting to get out sometimes. So I did actually break one of my flowers. Not a big deal. I just adhered it properly when I went to adhere them to my cards. But you will see me actually rip the stem off of the flower here in a second. And again, like I said, I don't think it's a big deal. You could, of course, cut a new one if that bothers you, but I'm a firm believer of using what I have. So I just adhered it onto the card like any other so that I could use what I had already cut out. But I do find that sometimes the glitter cardstock is a little bit harder to get to remove from the panel. So, I mean, I use my poking tool just from the behind so that it kind of lifts out the glitter, because this specific cardstock has a glitter like a topper on it. So I do kind of have to be aware of that and like kind of work around it. There are different types of glitter cardstock. This is just one I happen to have on hand, so I'm trying to use it. But I do find that sometimes it likes to lift the glitter off of the cardstock if I'm not paying attention to it. So just something to be aware of depending on what kind of paper you have. And then I've kind of laid out my design, and I'm going to bring in a Simon Says stamp. It's a birthday greeting. I don't know if this stamp set is still available. I always do my supplies list after I've edited the video. So hopefully this one is still available. If it isn't, I will link one that's similar. But any, you could make these thank you cards. You could make them birthday cards. You can make them thinking of you cards. You could make them, like, there's so many things you could do here if you're not after birthday cards. I just find that I never have enough birthday cards on hand. So for me, it just makes the most sense to, when I'm making sets of cards, if I'm not planning to give them away, to make the ones that I need on hand. So, and I thought this was just a really pretty version of a birthday card. So I'm pretty excited about it. But I did stamp out the birthday sentiment on all of my cards. I have a Waffle Flower Mat in the base of my Misti. It's sticky, so it holds the cardstock in place when I go to stamp on it. That's why you don't see me adding the magnet or anything. And again, everything I used is linked and listed down below. So if you have any questions or you're at all interested in specific products, they are down there for you, so you can have a gander. And they are to 2 websites. Generally, it's Simon Says Stamp and Scrapbook. That's why it says like SSS or SB in front of the link, because they are two specific stores. But I mean, you can take the name and go and shop where you got to shop. I know some people are in the like the UK and whatnot, or Canadian, and the stores that I'm linking to are American. So, and just whatever is easier for you. For sure, you can go and check it out. And then, so I'm just going to adhere them. I adhered these flat. Sometimes I do go in with foam tape, and you absolutely could if you wanted to. I opted to kind of just leave them flat for this. So I just went and just used my Nuvo Deluxe glue, because it is by far my favorite liquid glue. And I'm going to adhere them to the black mat. And then I'm also going to adhere them directly down to the card base. I did not do anything on the inside of these cards. I know I've been trying to, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. I guess I could have tried to find a stamp that was similar to the flower that we're putting on the front, like a kind of like a dandelion-esque looking flower, and maybe stamped that with the 3 oxides on the inside. But I didn't. I might go back and do it. Sometimes I do when I know who the card's going to. I'll go and add something on the inside for the person. Like if I know they love, say, butterflies, I'd go and stamp a butterfly on the inside, that kind of thing. but I didn't. So just keep that in mind. That's definitely something you could add, but I did not do it for this specific card set. And then, yeah, I think all that's really left is to adhere the flower down onto the front of the card. And of course, because it's me, I am going to add some pearls because I can. And you guys know, if you've been with my channel for a hot minute, I love pearls so much. So I have a goal of this year trying to hit 25,000 subscribers. It might be an ambitious goal. I don't know yet, too early in the year to say. But if you enjoy my content and you aren't subscribed to the channel, I'd love it if you'd consider it. Just because you are helping me achieve my dreams of trying to hit my goal. So please consider it if you're at all interested. Yeah, that would be phenomenal. I don't know. We'll see if it's too ambitious of a goal. But I thought, why not shoot big? Because at the end of the day, if you don't shoot big, what are you working towards? So by all means, please, if you enjoy my content, please subscribe to the channel. I would greatly appreciate that. So I just adhered my little flower on to the front of the card. You could absolutely have cut this with double-sided tape if you had thought about it beforehand. I generally forget to do that, so I just use my liquid glue. I don't mind. It's not a problem for me. I just, use the glue and then adhere it. You do get sometimes a little bit of glue ooze, so you have to kind of clean that up. But honestly, that doesn't really bother me much. I just clean it up with my reverse tweezers and there's no real problem there. And then for a final touch, I did need to bring in these white pearls. These are a new purchase for me. I got them in January from Simon Says Stamp. So I have an unboxing video I did of all the purchases I'd bought in January. Well, it wasn't in January. I had bought them like November, December. I think one was October because there was a mail strike in Canada and I'm Canadian. So I only just got them. But I did a large haul of goodies that I got in January. So if you want to check that out, you absolutely could. That video is of course on the channel. And yeah, these are these new pearls from this calls from Confetti. I've used them a few times now and I'm really enjoying them. So I had to bring them out for this card set as well. I just think it adds a little bit of something. You don't have to use them if you don't like to add embellishments. But I don't know. I love the look and I have a thing for buying all the pearls because I love them so much. So I needed to add a couple. But that is the video I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, I hope you'll leave me a like, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you haven't already. I do new videos every Monday and Thursday. And of course I do live streams every second Thursday, though I have moved the live stream to the 27th for February. So if you want to come and hang out, please do. I'd love to have you. The live streams start at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So hopefully that kind of gives you an idea. And yeah, we just kind of hang out, we chat, the ladies are making bets on how long it'll take me to finish my diamond art, which is what I'm currently working on in that live. So come hang out. We would love to have you. Thank you guys so much, and I will see you again very soon for the next video. Bye-bye for now.